Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, June 30th. From the San Antonio Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. All of the stories you need to know to start your day. Today, you can expect cloudy skies and a high of 96. Today is the second day of early voting for the July 14th elections. Bexar County Elections Administrator Jacques Callen said the first day of early voter turnout was comparable to those of similar runoff elections in 2014 and 2018. Meanwhile, with the Saharan dust cloud slowly traveling across the Lone Star State, many Texans are experiencing runny nose and watery eyes, symptoms that mimic those of the coronavirus. Priscilla Aguirre talked to a doctor and explains the differences between allergies and the coronavirus. Also, be sure to check out expressnews.com this afternoon for a story about self-improvement in the era of coronavirus. Next up are the top headlines for the day. Three out of four of Bexar County's Justice of the Peace Court said Monday they are suspending most in-person eviction hearings immediately until further notice, citing concerns that rapidly rising infections could put people at risk when they come to court. The decision to pause cases came 2 weeks after courts began holding the first rounds of eviction hearings since mid-March, when judges halted most of the court proceedings to slow the spread of the virus and prevent families from losing their homes amid stay-at-home orders. Marina Starley-Freiker has more on individual judges' plans, the exceptions to the rule, and when cases will proceed again. The recent exponential surge of new cases and patients hospitalized with COVID-19 has brought new urgency to local officials' calls for greater control over the response. Already, Judge Nelson Wolff and Mayor Ron Nierenberg ordered that businesses must require customers and employees to wear masks while on the premises or risk a $1,000 fine. A move that Abbott did not oppose. Joshua Fechter breaks down the request in the letter sent to Governor Abbott, including the authority to enact new stay-at-home orders. San Antonio Insurance and Financial Services Company USAA has informed employees that the bulk of its 35,000-person workforce will continue to work from home through December 31st instead of September 1st as originally planned. State and local leaders are hesitant or unwilling to issue any stay-at-home orders and close non-essential businesses to slow the coronavirus spread, as they did in March and April. However, some companies are taking the initiative, curtailing or slowing plans to bring employees back to the workplace. Patrick Danner looks at the safety precautions USA installed for its employees that have already returned to the office, as well as what some of San Antonio's other biggest businesses are doing. On Monday, Governor Greg Abbott and the Texas Health and Human Service Commission extended the application deadline for food aid payments for children who receive free or reduced price school lunches days after the parents began complaining of an outdated verification process. The deadline to apply for the federally funded Pandemic Electronic Benefit Transfer Program was pushed from today to July 31st, giving families more time to seek the one-time payments of $285 per eligible child, or the value of the subsidized meals the students would have received if the coronavirus pandemic had not closed schools. Reporter Alia Malik explains who is eligible for the payments and how to apply. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all of these headlines and more inside your Express News subscription. San Antonio officials reported 650 new cases of COVID-19 on Monday as the virus' rapid spread continued to put pressure on area hospitals. The confirmed new cases brought the county's total to 10,797. The Edgewood Independent School District Board voted Monday to censure Dina Serrano, a trustee who had apologized for a Facebook post of a photo of her husband jokingly posing with their children with a noose around his neck. She said she won't resign. H-E-B has reinstated its purchasing limits for paper products including toilet paper, tissues, and paper towels. Also, on H-E-B's website, it was announced that 24 employees in San Antonio had tested positive for COVID-19 last weekend. Priscilla Aguirre has the stores with the new cases. Proposed changes to the statewide sexual education policy, the first proposed in more than 2 decades, drew 265 Texans to a virtual State Board of Education hearing on Monday, where they debated topics including whether students should start learning about contraception in middle school. A video circulating on social media that appears to depict several Alamo Heights high school students, one of whom used racist language, has prompted calls for the school's district to take disciplinary action against the teenagers. As the coronavirus races through San Antonio, 32 CPS Energy employees have tested positive for COVID-19 and another 246 workers are quarantined at home. The pandemic-related economic slowdown also threatens the utility's finances. The Texas Commission on Law Enforcement will ask nearly 2,000 Texas law enforcement agencies to resubmit information that was supposed to be used to analyze whether police were treating minority motorists differently, but which turned out to be worthless. Eric Dexheimer explains how now it will be different. The Express News editorial board writes, "While voters 65 and older can vote by mail, that's not a clear option for everyone else this election, and that's a shame." San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg discussed the stark change in the city's COVID-19 status on Good Morning America over the weekend. The show pointed out that more than half of the city's cases were reported in June. City officials are asking the owner of a local sign company to halt an unauthorized effort to rally more than 100 volunteers to help San Antonio police with riots. On Monday, 3 days after Governor Greg Abbott ordered bars to close and restaurants to reduce capacity to 50%, the University of Texas released some information related to its reopening plans for the fall 2020 semester. It seems the university is still working on a viable plan for a football season that grows more and more difficult to envision as hospitalizations and deaths related to COVID-19 rise. Nick Moyle has the latest from the 40 Acres on how the Longhorns are preparing to play in the fall. Next up is the fun stuff. Pork loin can make a strong case as one of the most versatile meats in the protein universe. It can be grilled, smoked, or baked, and it pairs well with herbs and sauces. Grocery stores sell a large variety of loins marinated with flavors such as lemon pepper, teriyaki, and garlic infusions if you don't have the time to do it yourself. They taste great and can be finished on a hot grill in about 30 to 45 minutes. Chuck Blunt has that recipe at expressnews.com. Unfortunately, the Witte Museum has temporarily closed, and the Museum has shifted its reopening plans in response to the recent COVID-19 surge. Northside ISD, San Antonio ISD, and Southwest ISD have joined Northeast ISD and Judson ISD in halting sports camp due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Camps at Harlandale ISD, Medina Valley ISD, and Edgewood ISD are also on hold. New Braunfels graduate Jordan Westberg, selected 30th in the Major League Baseball draft, signed with the Baltimore Orioles on Saturday night. Westberg reportedly agreed to a signing bonus of $2.37 million. On this week's edition of Puro Politics, we discuss why SA's health director stepped down and more. That's all for today. This was your Express briefing for Tuesday, June 30th. My name is Luis Vasquez. Consider becoming an Express News subscriber to get in-depth coverage on all the stories you heard about today. Check the episode's description for links to all the stories we talked about. Also, be sure to rate and review the podcast in your Apple Podcast app, as it really helps the show. Have a wonderful day, everyone.